Morning everybody. This was going to be a video on beating the P0420 code part 4, but instead it's actually going to be on changing the valve cover gasket on a 2000 Toyota Camry. And the reason why, I have the computer hooked up here. We do have to go for an inspection this morning. And let's see what we got here. If you notice, all of the monitoring systems are complete. Everything is absolutely perfect. And if we go over to error codes, over here, there's 0 error codes, nothing pending, nothing wrong. And when we go and start the engine up, by the way, it's well, not that, let's try that, 70 degrees. When we go and start the engine up, no check engine light, everything's good. That happened in the other video that I just had recently of how to clean the battery terminals. I had to disconnect them and it seemed to reset everything and everything's happy, so we're on our way. We'll come back in just a moment with changing the valve cover gasket. Okay, so here is replacing the valve cover gasket on the 2000 Toyota Camry. We've done some prep work here that you'll need to do. First, of course, is pull all the spark plug wires off. They just come out there. You got to disconnect the PCV hose. We disconnected it right from here because it'll be easier that way, because we got a new rubber grommet for that because it becomes petrified over the years. Have to remove this hose over here, so you just take the clamp off on that. And this bracket right here is loose, as you can tell, and there's just a bolt on just to get it out of the way so you have clearance. And this bolt over here on the left side of it, you just back out to allow more access for that. And then once you get that out, okay, then you have to take off the nuts that hold the cover down. And those are these here. You have this top piece and the bottom part, which is like a washer with a rubber seal or grommet on it. And that is a 30 millimeter, actually made in USA no less, 30 millimeter. It fits over that, and you just unscrew those, and that really is it. So now you just kind of pry the cover off and then replace the gasket.
You can show that if you want.
So you can just pop up over here. We'll keep going here. Okay, now we've got it popped up part way all around. It had a tendency to stick on the back end of it. Now we're just going to make sure everything should clear here, and it should pop up. That's what the inside of the engine looks like. It's about what I've seen in general. It doesn't look good, it doesn't look bad. Alright, we've made some headway over here. We have the cover removed, as you had just seen, and we've put some blue glop in particular places. Now, you need the blue glop. The red glop doesn't work, the green glop doesn't work. So what you want to do is you want to put it in areas where it's not a smooth surface. Like, otherwise right here is a smooth surface, but right there there's these half moon caps, and I'll show those to you. Those are these here. We didn't opt to replace them because they didn't look like they were leaking, and disturbing them might cause more trouble than anything else, so we decided to just leave it well enough alone. But because those caps sit a little bit shy of the actual surface there, you have to make up for it with the blue stuff, because the gasket on the valve cover itself will not do. And we put some glop right there, some back there, as you can see, right around the bearing shaft. And on this side, we put some glop there, and there should be some in there you can barely see. So now that that's all glopped up, we've gone ahead and replaced the actual gasket here. This is the old one. It doesn't necessarily look bad, but it was leaking and it's kind of hard. So we put the new one in. It's got kind of a nicer bead on it over here. It stands a little taller, so it should flatten out when you tighten the bolts down. And that's it. And the grunge and stuff in here, we kind of just wiped some of it out. But you kind of want to just really leave enough, well enough alone with that too. And this kit came with new rubber grommets for the spark plug wire holes here. So now we're going to stick the cover back on. Alright, so we got the cover back on, new grommets, or washers, whatever you call them in there, those things. And then just tighten them down. You want to do the centers first, and then the outside, and just kind of keep going back and forth as you see here. Not very tight. Go too tight, you'll break something, and then you got a much bigger problem. So just keep going a little bit at a time everywhere, and you'll know when it's about right. Okay, now because we have the torque wrench out, we're just going to go ahead and torque these down where they should be at 13 foot-pounds. Okay, we have everything back together now. Put the bracket back there, tighten that bolt, put the PCV back, reattach the hose, that hose back there, plug wires, everything's in. You can see a little blue glop on the side there where we were, right over here, which is fine because that just makes up for the difference in the mating surfaces. And now we're going to start it up and check for leaks. Okay, finally back home, and now we're going to check. Didn't see any leaks before I left, and it's going to be kind of hard to tell, but I don't even know what the camera shows here. But anyway, it was leaking all down the back of the engine here, and it wasn't so bad as to be like pouring out, but even so, we were going to replace the PCV valve, the little rubber grommet on it, but unfortunately the one that they sent us was wrong, so didn't get to change that this time. But anyway, she's running. Everything's good. Tighten up this belt here. This is just chirping barely. Everything's otherwise looking good. AC's running fine. So anyway, that was changing the valve cover gasket and replacing the door handle. I don't know if I'm going to make those two separate videos or just combine them together. But even so, either way, there you go. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and take care.